I wasted tons of time and money during my journey to becoming a seven-figure Amazon seller, and most beginners do the same. I don't want you to go through the same struggle, so in this video, I'm going to share with you the top 10 mistakes to avoid when learning Amazon FBA as a new seller. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Miles. I'm a 25-year-old seven-figure Amazon seller on a mission to help as many of you guys as possible build a side hustle or business of your dreams this year. The first mistake I made when learning Amazon FBA was choosing the wrong business model. Back when I got started in 2019, online arbitrage wasn't really a thing. Really, the only options were used books, wholesale, or private label. And I didn't have much capital, so I had to get started with used books with just a couple $100. Used books, however, takes a ton of time and it's really, really hard to scale. And luckily, with what happened in 2020, Amazon really created the online arbitrage business model and let everyday people like you and I sell big name brand products from home like Nike, Adidas, and Lego. The ungating process, which luckily now is easy for all of us watching, didn't really used to be a thing. So that meant as a beginner Amazon seller, really all you could sell was used books, and there wasn't much potential with online or retail arbitrage, and you had to go directly with wholesale to be able to sell name brand products. Luckily, that isn't the case anymore, but I still see tons of beginners want to get started with the really expensive and complicated models like private label of buying products from China, where you have to create your own brand, create the listings, take pictures of the product, wait for it to arrive from China, and that just takes a ton of time and is really expensive. Or wholesale, where you have to cold call and cold email suppliers and place really big minimum order quantities, which takes a ton of capital. Instead, by far the most simple and easy route that takes a lot less startup capital is online arbitrage, working from home to find profitable name brand products like Nike, Adidas, and Lego on big websites like Kohl's, Walmart, and Target that have proven sales history that you don't need to create a listing for, that you don't need to run ads for, that you don't need to take pictures of, and that you don't have to place big initial wholesale orders for. You can literally just start out buying just a couple units, and that reduces your risk a lot as a beginner. So online arbitrage is the way to go. And that's something I had to learn the hard way, spending a ton of time with used books. And that's something a lot of beginners make the mistake of today, trying to go immediately into wholesale or private label when they have no business experience. The second big mistake is not mastering product research. A lot of beginners put in a little bit of time and are surprised that they aren't finding tons of winning products fast when they're not even doing the basics. I'll say it before and I'll say it again. By far, the number one key to Amazon online arbitrage product research is being able to leverage discounts and get your buy costs lower than your competitors. There's a bunch of different ways to get products cheaper on different websites, but I'm going to go through a few of the big ones. The first one's going to be cashback and coupon extension coupons that you can leverage from free extensions like Capital One Shopping, Retail Me Not, Be Frugal, Rakuten, Top Cashback, and Coupon Birds, among others. Those just tell you what coupon codes different websites have and are a great place to get buy costs lower. Another way is going to be evergreen coupon codes that typically come in the form of account or text signups that just pretty much just pop up when you click around on a different website. It's really important to understand that every website has some sort of discount mechanism or multiple that you can use. Another one's going to be hidden coupon codes you typically find just on Google, clicking around, Googling like Foot Locker coupons, for example, or asking customer service. A lot of people won't take the time to do this, but the people that do are heavily rewarded. Anytime there's a major holiday going on, a lot of retailers are going to run sales as well, which is really helpful. So holiday sales and combining that with the coupon is a great way to get products profitable. And another way is going to be using discounted gift cards to get another 5 to 10% off. My favorite gift card providers are Cardbearer and Top Cashback, and it's a great idea to get in the habit of checking out through an account on different websites as well, so you can leverage rewards like Kohl's Cash, Rack Room Rewards, and Dick's Sporting Goods Rewards, which are a great way to get another percentage off. And you see how if you expect items to be profitable at the advertised price, very rarely are they going to be when all these different discounting methods exist. And it's a major cheat code to get products cheaper, combining those different methods. Understand that pretty much every website has a way to do that. And that's going to be the key to finding stuff profitable. Another major mistake, and this is something I totally made, was avoiding merchant fulfilled. When I was selling books, I was pretty much only doing FBA. And then when I started doing online arbitrage, I sold over 7 figures in just my first 10 months. And merchant fulfilled was an incredible tool to do that. If you're not familiar with merchant fulfilled, basically there's 2 ways to sell products on Amazon FBA. The first one is Amazon FBA, where you ship your products in bulk to the Amazon warehouse and then they fulfill the orders to your customers individually. Merchant fulfilled is where you ship the product directly to the customer. Now, the cool thing is with merchant fulfilled, you avoid the FBA fees, but you do pay the individual shipping cost. And with Amazon FBA, you avoid the individual shipping costs because you ship your products in bulk, but you do pay Amazon FBA fees. So they're pretty much the same cost in terms of fees. And it just comes down to, can you actually get the buy box merchant fulfilled on a product? And the cool thing is, if someone else can, you probably can. So just look if there's other competitively priced merchant fulfilled sellers on that listing. And that's going to be a good indicator of if that's something you should test merchant fulfilled. The big benefits of merchant fulfilled are that you get to learn a lot quicker, you get to avoid price tanking and competition, and you get to make money faster because you don't have to wait that 1 to 2 weeks for the products to check into Amazon FBA. Number 4, and this is something you won't hear a lot of people talk about, but everyone that really made progress quick talks about this, and that's going to be finding core Asins and not worrying about diversifying your inventory. If you have a couple products that are going to hit heavy, those are going to be the main drivers of progress in your store. You don't need to go looking for other brands or other categories. If you have a proven system, squeeze it as long as you can. That's going to help you move a lot quicker, make money a lot quicker, and gain confidence that's going to give you a positive feedback to get you sourcing other types of products naturally by osmosis. There's something called the 80-20 rule, which basically suggests that 20% of your inputs create 80% of your outputs. And that is so true, especially for Amazon arbitrage. 20% of your Asins are going to produce 80% of your profit. 20% of your sources are going to produce 80% of your sales and profit. And that is so true. And you'll notice this the more you do it. Number 5 is going to be sleeping and avoiding retail arbitrage. A lot of you guys watching this have incredible sources for retail arbitrage locally to you. You just aren't taking the time to go take the SellerAmp app and go out and scan those products. Nike outlet, Adidas outlet, Puma outlet, Under Armour outlet, grocery outlet, Kohl's, a lot of big retailers like Walmart and Target I wouldn't go out and do, but pretty much all those other ones I mentioned are going to be great. Discount stores like Marshalls and TJ Maxx. It's really important to note, though, that you can't judge the performance of a source just by going once. You have to go and scan everything multiple times. You have to be talking to the employees and figuring out what products, are other resellers buying a lot of, or what have they recently marked down, or when's their next big sale coming up. Take care of them. Bring them a Dunkin' Donuts gift card or a Starbucks gift card. Understand that it's a long-term relationship and that over time, there's all types of potential with retail arbitrage to get products listed same day, to buy pallets of products, to get additional discounts, to get tipped off of when their next sale's coming up. And you're going to get the big benefit of that over the long term. So take advantage of those local opportunities and get your SellerAmp app and get out there and start scanning products. This is definitely a controversial take, but delegating too soon is a massive issue for a lot of beginners and oftentimes a distraction. Prep centers, which are third-party services that'll receive your inventory for you and ship it off to Amazon, typically in sales tax-free states, are great resources, as well as virtual assistants, which are basically employees that can work for you virtually in other countries, really cheap countries like Pakistan, India, and the Philippines for typically between $3 and $6 per hour, are great resources. The problem is, if you aren't good at the scale, they're not going to solve your issues. Especially for beginners, merchant fulfill is a major hack. And if you're using a prep center, you sacrifice the ability to merchant fulfill for the most part, and you sacrifice a ton of speed. If you're going out and doing retail arbitrage for yourself, you can get those products listed same day via FBM. But if you're doing OA to prep immediately, it's going to take 3 to 7 days for that product to deliver to the prep center. It's going to take a couple days for them to process the inventory because they're not going to care about your inventory as much as you do. They're not going to rush for you. Then it's going to take 1 to 2 weeks for that product to check in, compared to doing OA to FBM on yourself or RA to FBM yourself. You're going to sacrifice a ton of speed if you're delegating that stuff too quick. And if you want to hire a virtual assistant from day one, but you can't train them, they're not going to be effective because you're not effective. You have to be good at product research on your own and have stuff you can teach a virtual assistant from day one, even if they have sourcing experience. Otherwise, it's going to be a massive mess for your business and you're going to waste a ton of time and money. Number 7 is not getting in the community and working with other Amazon sellers. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Online arbitrage is a team sport. You probably don't know anyone in your local area that's very serious about selling on Amazon. Luckily, there's tons of people on social media and Discord and Facebook groups that are serious about this. But if they don't know you, there's no relationships, masterminding, and compounding of relationships that can happen. I sold on Amazon unsuccessfully with used books for like 18 months in a row. And then when I met Garrett and the boys that I do the Buy Box Bandits podcast with, which you should check out, I made over $20,000 profit in just my first 4 months, and it completely changed my life. And then I went on to make $50,000 profit in 1 single month, buying the same products as the boys, having a lot of fun on Zoom and FaceTime, flipping the same products FBM, putting in long hours. And it made the process really fun, really profitable. And if you can find people that you get along with that do this, you're going to be able to avoid a lot of mistakes, make a lot more money, and it's going to be a lot more of a worthwhile experience, because if you're doing it with people you like, you're going to do it even when it's hard, and then it's going to get easy. My best advice with that is to get on social media and document what you're doing. You can scroll back on my page to see what that looked like back in 2019, 2020, and 2021 for myself. And over time, people are going to learn your story, bond with you, and you're going to build what's called a parasocial relationship, which is what I'm doing with a lot of you guys watching this video, where you feel like you get to know me, even though I don't know who you are, and that provides a ton of opportunity. The next one's going to be expecting quick results, and this is by far one of the biggest poisons for beginner Amazon sellers. I'm partially at fault, as well as other influencers that are talking about this stuff on social media, in terms of making you guys expect that you're going to win quick with this stuff. This is a minimum 6 to 12 month commitment to get good at this process. And if you can't commit to this, don't even start, because business probably isn't for you. And unfortunately, if you can't stick with something, you're probably going to unfortunately end up having to stick with the 9-to-5 job for 40 years. You have to understand this is a hard process. It's going to take a lot of learning. It's going to take meeting other sellers. It's going to take making mistakes, but there is a proven blueprint out there if you can commit to it and stick to it for the long term. If you can stick around for 6 to 12 months, you're going to see Q4 go by. You're going to see back to school go by. You're going to see lots of your different retailers have and repeat the same sales, which you're going to be able to take better and better advantage of over time as you learn. You're going to have your Seller Amp spreadsheets lead database set up, which is going to provide you tons of leads moving forward. You're going to have time to set Keepa alerts on lots of products and get a nice email when the products become good. That's using the tracking tab on Keepa. It's so profitable. So overall, my friends, commit to the long term, and this process gets a lot easier over time. Number 9 is going to be using too much leverage. I totally would not recommend using business credit if you're a beginner until you have a proven system. I used it a ton in my business, but I was really, really well connected. I was having a lot of fun. I was doing merchant fulfilled, and I feel like I totally did this stuff the right way as a beginner, especially once I got started with online arbitrage. So I was comfortable using leverage, but you need to gauge your own risk tolerance. Now, in terms of my favorite credit cards for Amazon FBA during the scaling process, the Amex Business Blue is my favorite option for beginners that has a 0% APR. The Capital One Spark card with the 2% cashback is absolutely fire for big limits and cashback. And then the Amex Plum card is the best for scaling with the 60-day payback period. But remember, my friends, only use leverage at your own risk, because it totally can mess up your business if you're not using it correctly and don't have a proven system. And number 10 is going to be taking shortcuts. I hate when I see new sellers breaking Amazon's rules, thinking they're going to be able to skirt it forever, or using fraud shipping labels from some of the scam shipping label providers online, or trying to buy off leads list, or like I said, hiring VAs from day one. You got to understand this is a process. It's going to take time. You're going to take mistakes. If it seems too good to be true, it probably is. Don't skirt Amazon's rules. Don't be screwing over customers, undercutting FBM shipping weights so you pay less. It's just not going to work out long term. You want to build a sustainable online arbitrage business, retail arbitrage business, wholesale business. If you're serious about quitting your 9-to-5 or making $100,000 plus profit a year with the stuff, don't take shortcuts that are too good to be true, might be against the rules, or that are against the rules. And make sure you're talking to other sellers in the community and not getting scammed by Telegram wholesalers that if you just ask someone, you would easily be able to say, oh, that's a scam. Don't do it. And that, my friends, is the top 10 mistakes to avoid when learning Amazon FBA as a new seller. If you guys have any questions about this stuff, please let me know. As well, looking for direct one-on-one access to me, now is the perfect time to apply for my one-on-one intensive coaching program. If you're looking for unparalleled daily one-on-one access to myself, you want to get on Zoom and live source together in a one-on-one live sourcing call, you're interested in being around a community of other sellers that are crushing the game with 3 weekly coaching calls, as well as you want access to all my coupons, tips, tricks, and strategies that I don't share anywhere else, I'm going to leave the link down below where you can go ahead and apply for my coaching program, and I'll see you guys in the next video.